Hey, I'm Laurie and welcome to my channel. I have some core activation exercises specifically designed for my postnatal mamas. So your two innermost core muscles, two that were greatly affected during your pregnancy, are your transverse abdominals, that corset muscle, and your pelvic floor muscle, which kind of sits at the very bottom. We're going to work on activating those muscles before we advance to some exercises. Eventually, we want to just make it a habit to always really keep that engaged, not only during core exercises, but other exercises like squats, shoulder presses, and daily activities like picking up your baby, holding your baby, carrying your groceries in. This will just help your everyday life. It's also going to help eliminate some back pain. If you experience that postpartum, a strong core should help with some back pain, so that's great. Always get this cleared by your doctor before beginning any new exercise regimen. Make sure you are cleared by your doctor before beginning this exercise, especially postnatal, postpartum, depending how far along you are. You need to abide and listen to what your doctor has set in place for you. Everyone is unique and everyone is different. We're going to start with some breathing exercises before we advance to anything else. What you're going to need is your beautiful self, of course, but you're also going to need a mat for a little bit extra cushion and support. So grab your mat, meet me on the floor, and let's get going. So we're going to begin in a nice easy seat or cross-legged position. What I want you to make sure is your pelvis isn't tucked under, which is typically what will happen. So take your hand, really take your butt, move it back so you can get a nice neutral spine. All right, I hate working out in my sports bra, but I'm gonna lift it up so you guys can get a nice visual as we activate our transverse abdominals and our pelvic floor muscles. So we're sitting nice and tall. Just take a regular inhale and exhale. Do that one more time, but notice where you're inhaling and exhaling from. For me, I typically inhale and exhale. I inhale through my lungs and my belly, and my shoulders rise. Now, I want you to place one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. On this round of inhalation and exhalation, just breathe from your belly. Only this bottom hand is going out and in, this one's staying still. All right, notice anything different? On your exhale, you were able to draw your belly button in towards your spine. We're going to exaggerate that one more time. So really forcefully exhale out through your belly this time. So inhale through the belly, exhale out through the belly. Draw that deep belly button in towards your spine, exhale even more, and release. So you're drawing your belly button in towards your spine. That's what's gonna activate your transverse abdominals. But we also almost want to do like a Kegel while we exercise. So we want to get that pelvic floor involved. So while you exhale this round, really draw your pelvic floor up like you're doing a Kegel. All right, let's go. Inhale through the belly. Exhale, belly button towards spine. Pelvic floor up. That is your transverse abdominal. Let's do that one more time. Bring it up. And release. This time, I want you to do that again. Belly button and pelvic floor up, but then add one really, when you think you can't exhale anymore, add one more forceful exhale at the end. So inhale through the belly. Exhale. I can't go anymore. One more deep, forceful exhale. Oh, it's engaged. All right, that's it. You got your transverse abdominal nice engaged, pelvic floor engaged as well. Now we're gonna do that same thing, but lying down in a supine position. So go ahead, come down however that feels comfortable for you. You may wanna go on the side and then roll back. Your soles of the feet planted, knees towards the sky. And make note if you have space underneath your low back, or if you can make that back flat. You can try both ways out because everyone is so unique and so different. But for me, I find that really having that flat back, no space underneath my low back, I'm able to activate my core a little bit better than this, because this position for me, I'm stretching out my rectus abdominals and my belly. See? Stretching right here, I can engage just a little bit better. So if you have that space underneath your back, it's okay, but try this way out as well and see what works better for you. We're going to continue that same breath we were just doing, but this time I want you to place your peace fingers right underneath your hip bone and see if you can feel your pelvic floor engage. It should get a little bit tighter. So inhale through the belly, exhale out. And release. Press down as you exhale towards the end. See if this area underneath your hip bone gets tighter. See if you can feel it engage. Let's do it again. Great job. One more time. And release. We're going to continue this transverse abdominal breathing exercise, but this time we're going to lie down. So just roll over onto your left side, however that feels comfortable for you. Legs slightly back. Keep that right hand right underneath your right hip bone, and we're going to do that same breathing exercise, just side lying now. So inhale through the belly. Exhale. Deep belly in towards the spine. Pelvic floor lifts. And release. Twice more. Great job. One more time. And if you need to add that forceful exhale at the very end to really engage, that is quite all right. All right, and release. We're coming back on your back. Now we're going to advance. Before we do the other side, we're going to keep that same exact breathing technique, but now we're going to perform a crunch. So remember, if you get better core engagement with that flat low back, really press the low back in. It does for me. We're keeping a tennis ball underneath your chin, so no tucking. This time, hands go behind the head. As we exhale, so watch me first, as we exhale, we will come up and activate the TA as we crunch. It's how we should always perform a crunch, postpartum or not. A lot of people do not do it this way, and you are going to know the tricks of the trade. So hands go behind the head, inhale through the belly, exhale through the belly, draw that deep belly button in, lift, pelvic floor lifts, and release. Now, if you want to look down at your belly, you should see your TA engage. It should all be drawn in. If you ever see anything like lift like this, like it's coming up to a mountain or a peak, your transverse abdominals is not engaged. So reset, focus on that breath before you come back to this. Let's do it again. Hands behind the head, inhale through the belly, exhale. We're lifting, drawing that deep belly button in towards your spine. Pelvic floor lifts and release. We're doing this twice more. Inhale. Exhale. And release. So not only are we drawing the deep belly button in, pelvic floor lifts as well, almost like you are kind of doing a Kegel. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. And release. Great job. This time, let's come onto your right side. You're going to see my back side. That's okay. So just come over here, knees face forward, bring your left peace fingers right below your hip. Inhale through the belly and exhale. Pelvic floor lifts as well. That space underneath your hip point should harden ever so slightly because those muscles are engaged. Release. Let's do that twice more. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Deep belly button in, pelvic floor lifts. and release. We're coming to a quadruped position or tabletop position. So come into that position however feels comfortable. Let your belly hang out. So if you have diastasis recti, don't come into this position. Just come back slightly over here, or you can come back to that seated position. We don't want to put any extra pressure on that tissue or your rectus abdominal. If your doctor has cleared you though, we're in this tabletop position. Belly button is just hanging, so I gotta get rid of my high-waistedness. Okay, there we go. So belly button's just hanging right now. Now we're going to implement that same breathing technique in this tabletop position. So inhale through the belly, exhale, and release. So your belly button is going up and in toward your spine, pelvic floor is lifted. This time, let's add that forceful exhale at the very end. So you exhale all the way, and then when you think you can't exhale anymore, you add one to really get it to draw in. That is activating your transverse abdominals. All right, let's do it. Inhale, exhale, deep belly button in towards the spine, pelvic floor lifts, neutral spine. Add that deep, forceful exhale. Engaged. Awesome job. This really does the trick for me. It's like, how do I activate my transverse abdominals? This one clicks with me. Hopefully it clicks for you. Let's do it again. Inhale, exhale. Pelvic floor lifts, rib cage in tight, and release. One more time. Inhale, exhale, and release. Bring your left knee in beside your right, release the left hip. Let's roll down on the side before coming down back into that supine position. Feet are planted on the ground, knees up. We're going to now go into some exercises. So just keep the activation that we just practiced throughout the entire exercise while breathing in and out. So once you find, we'll reset after each exercise. So we'll find that transverse abdominal engagement, and then we're going to begin your exercise. You're going to hold that engagement in your transverse abdominals while inhaling and exhaling. You do not want to hold your breath the entire round of exercises, but you can maintain it and continue a normal breath. So let's find it. Inhale through the belly. Exhale, belly button in towards the spine, pelvic floor lifts. Hold that engagement while keeping a normal round of breath. We're going to do some abduction exercises. So slowly release the left knee to the left side of the room, not bringing it all the way down, but bring it to a point to where your hip points stay square. And then bring it back in. Right leg out, bring it in. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Continue this breathing pattern and go at this pace. If you want to go slightly slower, that is okay. We have 4 more each side. Remember, hip point square, no rock in here. Everything nice, firm, and in control. Last 2 each side. Last 1. To the right, now we hold. Let's reset your transverse abdominal engagement by taking that deep inhale and exhale. So inhale through the belly. Exhale. Deep belly button in, pelvic floor lifted. Hold this engagement while keeping a normal breathing pattern. We're bringing the right knee up, shin parallel to the sky above, and then release it down. So inhale up, exhale, release. Inhale up, exhale, release. Even though we're keeping that normal breathing pattern, we're keeping the TA activated. We're holding the deep belly button up and in while keeping the pelvic floor lifted and rib cage hugged in tight. I always like to bring my hands to my hips to make sure my hip points stay nice and square and there's no rotation going on. 2 more each side, and you can always reduce the range of motion. So maybe your foot's just lifted. Last 1. and release. The next exercise we're getting into is a modified version of a dead bug. If you have diastasis recti, do not do these modified dead bugs. Rather, just keep alternating your foot up and down at your reduced range of motion. The rest of us are going to come into that modified dead bug. So hands are lifted. We then will lift both legs up. First, let's engage the transverse abdominals. Inhale through the belly. Exhale. There we go. Hands are lifted. Opposite leg is going to touch the ground while the opposite arm extends behind. So right heel taps, left hand goes behind, return to center. Right hand, left heel, return to center. Other side, just tapping and then lifting. And your option, as always with any exercise, is we can reduce the range of motion. We can bring it right here, then lift. Bring it right here, then lift. If you ever lose that engagement with your transverse abdominals, reset and then just try to reduce the range of motion. See if that does the trick. A few more. Come on, one more each side. Last one. And release both heels down. Like I said at the beginning of the video, we want to make this a habit. So not only do we want to implement this activation during core exercises, but we also want to keep this engagement during other things like squats, shoulder presses, and bridges. Now, bridges do work the core, but you're really going to feel a nice engagement in your glutes. Strong glutes will really help with pain in the low back as well. Strong glutes, stable hips, healthy low back. Let's re-engage. Inhale through the belly. Exhale. Deep belly button in. Pelvic floor lifts. Let's press through the heels to bring the hips up. Now make sure you're not hyperextending that lumbar spine. So we're not here, we're down here. Glutes are nice and firm, and you also have that transverse abdominal engaged. We're holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and release one vertebrae at a time. Let's re-engage your TA. Inhale, exhale. One more inhale, but your TA is already activated. Then as we exhale, press through the heels, squeeze the glutes. TA is still activated. Glutes may be burning, mine are. Make sure your knees also aren't caving inward. You're actively pressing the knees out. And release. Keep the engagement in your transverse abdominals. Inhale here. Exhale, press through the heels. Hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and release. Keep the engagement in your TA. Inhale, exhale, press through the heels. You should only be feeling this in the glutes, possibly a little bit of your hamstrings and quads, but mainly your glutes and your core. If you feel this in that low back, you may just be thrusting the hips up too high. So just bring it down a little. Keep holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, and release. We're going to reactivate your TA to make sure you got it. And then we're coming back to that bridge and we're going to advance. If this feels too advanced, I want you to stop and just come back to the bridge, which is what we just did, and hold it until we come down. So inhale through the belly. Exhale, rib cage hugs in, deep belly button draws in towards your spine, pelvic floor is lifted, press through the heels. We are holding this glute. We want to keep your hip points square. Pretend like you have headlights on your hip points. We're pointing them towards the ceiling the entire time. Keep pressing through the shoulder blades. We're going to challenge your core by providing some instability to it. So shift the weight to the right foot while keeping your hip points square. Left leg lifts. Release it down. Now, if you found that your hips were wiggling, just hold this bridge position. Shift the weight into the left heel, right leg up, right leg down, and now we bring it down. Let's re-engage. Inhale, exhale, deep belly button in, pelvic floor lifts, press through the heels. hip points are square. If you need to place your hands physically on your hips, I encourage it. Shift the weight into the left foot. Right leg goes up, right leg goes down. It's engaged. Shift the weight to the right, left leg up, left leg down, and then we bring it down. Inhale through the belly. We're gonna do that one more time. Exhale. Press through the heels. Glutes are engaged. Shift the weight while keeping your hip points square into the left foot, right leg up, right leg down, left leg up. Hold this bridge. Deep belly button in. Squeeze the glutes. Hold and squeeze for 5, 4, 3, 2, and release. Slowly roll over onto your left side. Left hand can go out, or you can come up here, whatever is more comfortable for you. So we did some engagement exercises side lying already. So go ahead, inhale through the belly. Exhale, draw it in. Rib cage in tight, deep belly button in towards your spine. Pelvic floor is lifted. Dorsiflex at the ankles. Make sure your ankles are kind of behind you. Heels together. Then we abduct. We bring the back of this right quad towards the back of the room. Not only are you going to feel it in your core right over here, but you're also going to feel it, I feel it in my inner thighs as well. You should feel it in the outside of your right glute and the outside of that right thigh as well. And then release it down. So it's out, then in. Keep this activated while keeping a normal breathing pattern. And if you want to come up here, you may like it. Find what works for you. We have 5 more. Last 4. Last 3. Last 2. Last 1. I'm laughing because my leg was shaking with my body weight. Let's do the other side. So just roll over onto your right side. So heels are glued together, heels slightly behind you, knees forward. Let's get that engagement going. Inhale through the belly. Exhale, deep belly draws in towards your spine. Rib cage hugs together, pelvic floor lifts, dorsiflex at the ankle. We're now going to abduct. Press the outside of this left leg towards the back of the room, then bring it in nice and slow. Exhale up, inhale to return. Press and return. You're keeping that TA activated as you perform this exercise. And as you breathe as well. You have 5 more. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome work. All right, so we're going to come into a cobra position. Now we are going to go to a modified plank position. And we're not going to a full plank, which is an intermediate to advanced core exercise, but we are going to come to a modified version. First on your forearms, second to your hands. If you feel that the forearms are enough, you can stay right there. All right, so shoulders aligned over your elbows, hands are forward, look down at your belly, mine's just hanging out. When we activate your TA, it should automatically bring your spine up to that modified plank. So we're right here. Then we're gonna come up. Now, if you have the diastasis recti, you can just hang out in this stretch, or you can end this video altogether. Okay, so let's go. Inhale through the belly. Exhale, draw your deep belly button up and in. Pelvic floor lifts. You may find that that arch in your spine is just eliminated. So this is a modified plank. We're not butts in the air. We're not having our hips sunk anymore, but that activation of your core automatically brings your hips in alignment for that modified plank. So let's do that again. Inhale through the belly. Exhale, deep belly button up and in. Rib cage hugs together. Pelvic floor lifts. And release. Okay, let's do that again. Now, if you feel like that is your limit, stay on your forearms. We will be coming back to your forearms, but then if you want to come up just a little, we'll bring it to your hands for a modified version of a plank. So inhale through your belly, exhale, deep belly button draws up and in, while keeping your hip points square. Come to your hands. Hold that activation, look down at your belly. It should be drawing in towards your spine. Gaze is about 3 feet in front of you, not tucked, right in front. Keep holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, and release back down. We're going to do that one more time, so reset. Remember, you can always stay on your forearms. Inhale through the belly. Exhale, deep belly button up and in, rib cage hugs in tight, pelvic floor lifts. It kind of automatically brings you to this position. If you'd like to advance it, hold that engagement while bringing it to your hands. Gaze is about 3 feet in front of you, deep belly button up and in, rib cage hugs in tight, pelvic floor lifts. We're holding for 4, 3, 2, and release. Great job. Roll onto your side. We're going to end with that breathing exercise one more time. So come into your easy seat. Make sure the flesh is kind of behind you so your pelvis is not tucked under. All right, so we're not going back to the lung and belly button breath. It's just the belly that's breathing. And then we're going to add that forceful exhale at the end. So inhale through the belly. Exhale. And release. Now let's add 2 forceful exhales at the end. Inhale. Exhale. And release. Awesome job. That's it. So hopefully the breathing exercises resonated with you, and hopefully you found a couple of these exercises that you really liked. Now you can always come back to this video, or if you found like 2 to 3 of those exercises that you liked, you can do those right before your bedtime to help strengthen your core and really get those TA muscles in your pelvic floor engaged in all the exercises that you do. Once you feel that you have gained enough strength in your core, then you can advance to the other few postpartum or postnatal ab exercises that I have on my channel. Make sure they're labeled postpartum or postnatal before advancing to the other million ab exercises that I have available for you. Any questions, let me know. Like, comment, subscribe if there's something that you want to see. I have like a lot of videos in queue. I just haven't had the time because Christmas was 2 days ago and I have 2 toddlers and it's just been a wild ride. So just know that I have lots of things coming. I just haven't had the time. So it's coming soon though. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm here to answer them.